Hi guys, welcome back to another classic album review. Happy New Year's Eve. Since today is New Year's Eve, I thought I'd make this a special episode, and so I thought I'd take a look at the full discography of perhaps my favorite hip hop artist of all time, Kanye West. Now everyone knows who Kanye West is, a rapper and he's a rapper and a producer from Chicago. Now, a lot has been said about him over the years, over the controversy that he's caused and his overall ego. But despite all that, I still think that he is a great artist and he's a musical genius, in my opinion. But let's get into this review. Now, the first album today is his debut album, The College Dropout, released February 10th, 2004. Now, a little backstory about this album. This this album dates all the way back to 1999. Kanye was a producer. He made beats for a lot of local artists around the area, and he had formed a relationship with a guy named Hip Hop who was an A&R over at Rockefeller Records, and he had actually formed his relationship with hip hop through No ID, who was his mentor, and and he's also a producer from Chicago who did a lot of Common's early albums like Resurrection, and Kanye started making beats for a lot of the artists on Rockefeller Records, and he made the beat for Jay-Z's "This Can't Be Life" on his Dynasty album. That was the first beat that he made for Jay-Z, and it also started the Kanye's signature chipmunk soul sound, and in which he took a vocal sample off a soul song and he sped it up to make it sound like a chipmunk. That technique was actually started by RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan, but I think that Kanye kind of perfected it even more, and he kind of made it his own. And so then in the 2001, Kanye produced 5 tracks on Jay-Z's Blueprint album, uh, Heart of the City, Never Change, uh, Takeover, Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2, and H to the Izzo, which became Kanye's first big hit as a producer. And while and all and during that time, while he was producing other artists, he he was trying to make it himself as an artist, and so he'd make demos and then he'd play them for other labels and for Dame Dash, the president of the president of Rockefeller Records, and he try and get signed, but when he told people that he was a rapper too, people they kind of looked at him crazy, because they thought that he was just a producer and that he was a better producer than a rapper. Until in 2002, Dame Dash signed him to Rockefeller Records as an artist, and then in late 2002, and for and for the and for the rest of 2003, he started work on his first album, The College Dropout, which was eventually released in February 10th, 2004. So this is a great classic album. It's one of my favorite hip hop albums, and probably my probably and it's probably my second favorite Kanye West album. And so the album starts out with a skit where the principal of a school is telling Kanye to do a song for the kids. That segues into the first track, um, "We Don't Care." the The next track is a graduation day where the where the principal yells at Kanye for doing the song, and then there's All Falls Down, which talks about materialism in the black community. Then the next track is a spaceship, which Kanye talks about um um working at the Gap, and then the next track, Jesus Walks. That this is probably my favorite Kanye West song of all time. You know where Kanye professes his faith and he talks about how no one would sign him because he was talking about Jesus while everyone else was talking about guns and drugs and stuff. The next track and then the next track is Never Let Me Down, which features Jay Z and spoken word poet Jay Ivy. The next track is Get 'Em High, which features Common and Talib Kweli. And then there's the a new workout plan. Then the uh, next track is Slow Jams, which was the second single released on the album in late 2003. This became Kanye's first number one hit, and it featured Jamie Foxx and fellow Chi-Town rapper Twista. The next track was Breathe In, Breathe Out, featuring um, Ludacris. Then the next track was School Spirit. Then you had Two Words featuring Mos Def and Freeway. And then there was Through the Wire, which was Kanye's debut single that he released the previous year in early 2003. Yeah, this song talks about an accident that Kanye had in late 2002. He was involved in a car accident which broke his jaw in three places, and about 2 weeks after he did the song in which he literally rapped through the wire because his jaw was wired shut. And this is a great song, and it's one of my favorite songs on this album, and one of my favorite Kanye tracks of all time. The next track is Family Business, where he talks about his where he talks about um, his cousin who was incarcerated and his family. And then the last track is Last Call, in which he talks about his journey to be signed. And there's a nice little like thing at the end where he tells his whole story. Yeah, this is a really great album by Kanye West. My second favorite album by him. You guys should probably check this out if you're a hip hop or a Kanye West fan. This is I'd really I'd really I'd really I'd really re- recommend getting this album. Yeah, and so the next album is 2005's Late Registration. Also a great album. Um, I feel like on this album, Kanye, uh, I feel on this album, Kanye grew musically. This album features a more uh, uh, it features a more baroque sound with a string orchestra and brass and everything. This was co-produced by John Bryan, who is a film a score composer, and yeah, this is this is a great album. Probably my third favorite Kanye West album in my top three. And yeah, I love this album. You know, again because he goes like he goes beyond the college dropout sound, and he expands on that with the whole strings and everything. You know, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. You know, with the a string orchestration in hip hop. You know, I think that's a very creative. One of the reasons why Kanye is my favorite hip hop artist because he gets creative with his productions, putting string orchestras and stuff, and using different type of samples that no one else would even think to use. You know, so I think this is another great genius album by Kanye, and you should also check this one out. It features um, Heard 'em Say featuring Adam Levine, Touch the Sky, Drive Slow, Gone, um, and Hey Mama, and the lead single from the album Diamonds from Sierra Leone. So yeah, this is another great album, great string orchestration, great production. Yeah, you should definitely check this one out too. And then the next album from Kanye West was 2007's Graduation. This was the third album in the whole education themed trilogy that Kanye West was doing back then. Uh, you know, I kind of I kind of um liken Kanye West's albums to the first few Rocky movies. I feel like the College Dropout is kind of like the first Rocky, you know, where he's still kind of the underdog. Even though he kind of makes it, you know, he's still the underdog on that first album, and then on the second album, just like in in Rocky 2, he gained some success, and then by the end he's a champion. And then I feel like Graduation is Kanye West's Rocky 3, where he's finally gained superstar status. You know, just like he says on one of his songs, a stadium status. You know, he has become the Kanye West that we all know today. He's become a superstar by this album. You know, this 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 album is a kind of his a stadium album, you know, because when he was making this album, he said that he wanted to make songs that he wanted to make songs that he would imagine playing in a stadium, and so it has like a more like a stadium sound with synthesizers and stuff, and you know, and it features songs like Stronger, which is one of his biggest hits, Champion, Homecoming, featuring Chris Martin, um, I Wonder, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Flesh and Lights, which is one of my favorites also. Yeah, this is a really great album, which propelled him into superstar status. A great album, and it also this album also kind of like brought brought uh brought this particular kind of rap into the mainstream, as did a College Dropout. Because I forgot to mention, with the College Dropout, Kanye kind of started a new trend, because at the time when the College Dropout came out, hip hop was still very gangster. You had people like you had people like um, you had people like um, you had people like uh, you had people like um 50 Cent. With that he had that whole he had that whole tough gangster image, and talking about guns and drugs and stuff. And Kanye was just this. Uh, he was just this. He was just this um, normal guy from the suburbs. He wasn't involved in any gang activity. He was just the middle class guy from the suburbs. And he wore pink polos and a backpack, and had a teddy bear on his album. No other hip hop artist would have a teddy bear on their album cover. So Kanye kind of broke that mold, that Kanye's that rappers had to be all a gangster and stuff, and tough, and come from like a bad neighborhood. And he showed that he showed that you that that you could be from any background, and still be successful. Yeah. And then there came 2008's 808s and Heartbreak. Now, this album is kind of an infamous one for a lot of Kanye West fans. People felt his this was his worst album, and for a while I wanted to be, and for a while I wanted to uh, believe them, after taking a few listens to this, I really love this album. This is a really great album, because because I am interested in different kinds of genres of hip hop. I like pop and rock and stuff, and so this album kind of has a more like electro, R&B, synth pop kind of 80s feel. Yeah, and this album was made after the death of Kanye's mother, and after he broke up with his fiance, Alexis Pfeiffer. And so he went and he made this album. He said that he felt that he couldn't convey his emotions properly through rapping, and so he felt that it would be better if he sang through the album, because he felt that he could get his emotions out better that way, and so he used auto tune for that. And a lot of the songs deal with stuff like heartbreak and lost love and stuff, and a lot of people didn't like this album, but again, I think this is a great album. This is probably, I think my this would probably be my third or fourth favorite album by Kanye West. This is a really great album. If you just look at it, Um, I think that the problem that people have with this album is that they just did. I think the problem that most people have with this album is that they just take it at face value as just a hip hop album, but this album you can't really classify as hip hop. This is a real like um electro pop, synth pop album, you know, and that's not really a bad thing because Kanye is more than just a rapper. He is a real artist. He is a real artist. He can do uh, he can do a lot of different genres. He can do uh, uh, he can do a lot of different genres, and he's really good at it, you know, and so I still think this is a great album, you know. Um I may get hate for saying this, you know, but I feel like this album is a kind of like the hip hop equivalent to a Phil Collins face value because you know it's like kind of the same situation when Phil Collins made that album. He was going through a divorce, you know, so all the songs deal with subjects like that, and this album deals with subjects of heartbreak and stuff too, and they both have that kind of electronic drum sounds and stuff. They have that synth feel, you know, so yeah, this is a great album by Kanye West, and I think that you should get a chance to check this out. Next album, 2010's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is my favorite Kanye West album and probably my favorite album of any genre ever. Yeah, this is a really great album. A lot of people have said this is his best album, and I absolutely agree with them. This is his best produced album ever. You know, this this album is kind of like a culmination of everything that Kanye had done up to this point. This album has elements of each Kanye album. It has the soul samples of the College Dropout, the epic Baroque sounds of late registration, the the synth keyboard sounds of graduation, and the electro synth pop sound of 808s and Heartbreak. This album is a straight masterpiece right here. This is a masterpiece. This will go down as one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time and or of any genre. Great album. You know, this is Kanye West Sergeant Pepper or Pet Sounds, you know. Just a just this is just a beautiful uh great um this is just a great produced album, really fantastic album. You know, this is his most complete body of work. You know, this is you I, I can't say enough about this album. This is just a real masterpiece, and you should definitely check this out. Okay, so the next album is his most recent one, his sixth album, which which was which was Yeezus, released in released in 2013. Now this album, it's not it's not really one of my favorites. I think it's good, but it's just not as great as his previous albums. This is a good album, just not great. Uh, there's like only like probably three songs that I really like from this album, which are Black Skinhead. Um, I like New Slaves, and I like um Bound 2. Those are the only three songs that I really like from this album. The rest are pretty okay, but those songs are the best ones for me on the album. But yeah, this is a pretty good album. It has kind of like an industrial hip hop sound. He got this album from um, early influences with house music and industrial hip hop, and it also features production uh, with a Daft Punk who which he has previously worked with in the past, especially on Graduation. But yeah, this is a pretty good album. You can check it out if you want. If you're a real diehard Kanye West fan, then you should get this album. But yeah, it's um like I said, it is good, but it's not great as great as his other albums. So yeah, this is my this is my this is my review of Kanye West's full discography. Thank you for joining me on this New Year's Eve special episode. Please leave comments in the comments section. Um, uh, and please leave um, please leave feedback and also some other albums that you'd like me to do in the future. That would be nice. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me for this episode, and a happy New Year. I hope you guys have a good night.